recorded this whole experience only to find out that my microphone was drowning out my sound. The sound wasn't recording. So I have no idea what was going on. I'm gonna have to do this again and hopefully get the point across. Try to do it quickly because my baby's taking a nap. So I'm going to talk to you today about intention oils. Okay, so I get a lot of questions on how do I use these, and I just want to make a quick video so I can start referring people to this video whenever I get these questions. Okay, so your intention oils have been created with an intention in mind. They have the herbs that match that intention, and I pick scents based off intuition. So if something is supposed to attract something to you, I generally like to make it more sensual, sweet, things like that. Things that are more protective, I like to have more of a clean, crisp, airy, earthy scent. Something very grounding and protective. With things that are like money, that could be anything, because you have sweetening situations for money, and then you have like general money, like citrus and things like that. But the scent is just part of it. Okay, that's just a way for you to anchor in and remember and have a trigger point, that when you smell that scent, it reminds you of your intention. What's really life-changing about intention oils is the ritual behind it. So setting an intention, going through the process of using an oil with the intention to bring about a change. A lot of people don't feel good not doing anything. Okay, so a lot of people will say set it and forget it, where you set an intention, then you let it be, you let the universe work. Some people self-sabotage in this process. They don't know how to set something and forget it. So the intention oils kind of help you have something to do. Fill in your time manifesting with something physical that matches the intention that you're setting. Okay, so if you're someone who's very anxious and feels like you need to be doing something, intention oils can be really great for that purpose. Okay, so I'm going to dive into the different ways that you can use intention oils, and also answer the question that I get often, which is, do they cancel each other out? Can I layer them? And what if the other person doesn't want anything to do with my intention? Okay, so give me one moment. Let me gather myself. So with intention oils, you can wear them on your body. You can anoint your pulse points. I like to place it on my wrist and behind my ears, and other places like that where I can just feel the scent radiating off of me. If I know, like if I'm using a Come to Me Love oil and there's a particular person that I'm working with, I like to place it like behind my ears or even in my hair. And when that person gives me a hug or an embrace, they'll smell the scent on me, and that's a way of transferring that intention to the other person. If I'm working with a money oil, I like to address my wallet. I like to address money that I put in my wallet and place it in there. I like to address the business space that I work in. I work from home, so the area that I produce products in, that I work in, and that I check my order list and things like that, I like to address the corners of my home in oil. Now, if you are renting, you might want to be careful not to damage anything. So add some water to a bucket, drop some oil in, get you a nice washcloth or something like that, and wring it out, and then wash your walls down and stuff in the area that you're drawing that intention in. So if you're drawing love, protection, money, you can add it to your mop water, you can add it to your wash water, and you can get a cloth or a sponge and wipe down the windows and wipe down your doors to draw in that thing. And over and over again, just keep thinking in your mind, and maybe you repeat out loud, I'm attracting this. I draw prosperity into the home, I draw wealth into the home, I draw love and peace and protection into the home. If you're working with a protection oil, this is divinely protected. I like to use this anytime that I'm putting myself in a physical space to be seen by others. I like to protect myself from their negative energy. I like to anoint my hair clips. I have these Evil Eye hair clips that I use. I like to anoint my walkway and so my front door. I get a lot of packages and stuff like that delivered. There's a lot of energy that comes in here. So I like to dress my welcome mat with protection oil. So when people cross over that, and in hoodoo we use a lot of foot traffic in our practices. When people walk over that mat, they're stepping through my intention. You are coming in this space with the intention of upholding the protection standards of this home. Okay, so find little ways to incorporate your oils into everyday things. So you might anoint your car wheel, you might anoint your shoes to protect your steps, you might anoint the shoes of your children to protect them, to make sure that they go home and come back. Use your brain. don't just rely on oils to protect you or to, you know, make money for you. You also need to be doing something. So those are just some ways that I like to use my oils. You can also add them to like ritual baths. I recommend that everyone showers before you take a ritual bath. Don't just hop straight in the bath. Cleanse yourself first. And then add some drops to your bath water and then soak in that intention. But make sure you go through the process of cleansing yourself first. Okay, so we talked about anointing ourselves. So that's when you're doing the pulse points or, you know, anointing your hair, your wrist. You might, if you're doing some workings on someone else and you need contact with that person, you might rub it on yourself first and then tap that person on the shoulder or rub their back or shake their hand or something like that. If you're going in for a job interview, you might put some success oil on your hands and then shake that person's hand whenever you greet them. A lot of people complain to me, well, now everything's online. I don't have a resume that I take in. I don't have a job application. It's online. Print the screen before you submit the job resume. Print the screen, screenshot it, print it out, do something. Send it to a printer and place that, get the paper, put a 5 spot in it, so the corners and then the center, and then place it under a success candle, a money candle, something candle. But place it under it, like put a plate on top, put the candle on top of that plate, and make sure that petition or that application or something is underneath that plate so that it won't actually touch the flame. And as that flame gets further down and closer to the plate, it's also drawing that intention closer and closer to you. Okay? Don't overcomplicate it. You can do the same with a picture of a person. If you're drawing someone to you, anoint that person's picture with Come To Me oil or love oil, stick it under a plate, put the plate on top of it, a candle on top of that you've dressed in the same oil, and then work its way down. And if you're dressing it a candle like that's in here, like a 7-day candle, you can just anoint the top with a little bit of oil, rub it around, say your intention. You can anoint the glass if you want. That's no problem. Some people like to drill holes and then stick oil in there. You can do that. You don't have to overcomplicate it. There's no handbook for you have to do it this way or else. You really have to use what's around you. That's my favorite thing about hoodoo, is using what's in your environment and what's available for you in order to have some workings done in your favor. So those are just some quick ways that you can use intention oils. I think a lot of people overcomplicate it. I will say you need to practice with it before doing the big thing. If you're using it on someone else or trying to draw something to someone else, practice using it on yourself first and seeing how comfortable you feel with implementing that. When you learn to work with your own energy and you know what your own energy feels like, you'll be able to know whenever you've sent it out in the right way. So definitely don't wait until that thing for you to use the oil. Another thing I will say, I get a question a lot, can I layer oils? You absolutely can. Try to think of it in stages though. So if you're trying to remove something from your life, you probably don't want to jump straight into the attraction oil. So work on that removing. Work on that banishing, removing obstacles from your life, protection oil, and then do the drawing in something, okay? But I think a lot of people, they get it reversed. They'll do the attraction thing and then they'll go, oh, I'm blocked. And then they'll do the blocking and then forget to go back and do the attraction thing again. Whenever you are removing something from your life, there's a void. There's a voided space there. What are you drawing into its place? Humans do not do well with voids, okay? Whenever you're releasing something, you need to say also what you're calling back to you. I'm releasing doubt from my life. I'm calling in confidence. I'm calling in self-security. You know, like release that thing, but also what are we putting in its place? That really helps with intention setting because it helps clear out the air around what you're trying to attract. And the universe goes, okay, this is what they want. If you're releasing a job, and you're trying to do a money oil thing where you're calling in a new job, I'm releasing this position, it no longer aligns with me. I'm calling in a position that does blah, 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 or I'm attracting this position. I'm releasing whatever's not meant for me, universe, remove it from my path. A lot of people just want to keep adding on to the pile that's already this high. Learn to release some of the stuff that's not working so that something new can come in. You know, if you are trying to attract a partner, clear out your closet, anoint some hangers with some Come To Me oil, and hang it up in your closet and make space for someone else also living in your space and also taking up your closet or something like that. You know, you really got to get creative. You've got to really dive in to what is it that I'm trying to attract in my life, and how can I incorporate this item in a way that helps me align with that energy. And that's what these oils are meant to do. They're here as anchors to help you anchor in and remind yourself daily of what you're trying to attract. It cannot be a haphazard kind of thing. You can manifest haphazardly, but trying to repeat it is going to be a hassle. So get yourself into a spiritual flow, a spiritual routine where you're setting intentions daily, even with little things that you love. I love coffee, so I'm going to anoint, my coffee maker, that every cup of coffee I have brings abundance towards me, brings love towards me. You know what I mean? Find a way to incorporate it so it's so natural to you. And then whenever you go to use it for the big things, sorry if I was rushing through this video, I've recorded this 10 times, no lie, and my kids are about to be home. So I just hope that this helps in some kind of way. I hope that I've cleared up something. I just want to say something. I don't think I mentioned it. When you're anointing candles, if you're drawing something towards you, dress it with oil and then pull it up. Point it towards you and pull it up. And whenever you're banishing something, send it away from you like that and then dress it downward. Okay, like, yeah. Well, that still feels like it's pointing towards me. But you get it. Whenever I'm doing it on a plate, I'm usually doing it on a plate, and I'll point it that way, away from me, and then drawing it towards me. Okay, so it doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be rocket science. I think some people like to make stuff seem difficult because then it seems like, only the real witches can do this. Who gets to say who's a real witch and who ain't? Y'all better go on somewhere. Look at Yo Gabba Gabba on my TV. Do you guys see? My life is my children. Okay, so thank you for joining with me. Thank you for being here with me. Let me know what else you guys want to see. I will make sure to try to get them in my repertoire. I have a whole long list of recordings that I need to make. It takes me so long to get through them. I'm going to list my business down below if you're interested in buying an intention oil from me. Don't feel any pressure. In hoodoo, we work with what we got. You might go in the kitchen and get yourself some olive oil and mix in some cinnamon or something like that, and dress your doorways to bring in abundance and all that other stuff. People love using cinnamon for money. They think it calls it in faster, and it might, but the most important thing to call in something faster is you. If you can set a removal of those limitations from you, if you can remove those limitations, you don't even need anything else to manifest. But these oils are to help set intention and help you get in a spiritual routine so where you don't feel so all over the place. Okay, so I will list these below. No pressure. If you order from me, they always come with instructions. If you need any extra help, I'm always here. But like I said, try to take the scenario that you are particularly in and incorporate that ritual oil in some way. There are so many scenarios. Practitioners cannot possibly cover all of them. You guys are going to have to use your noodle. Okay? But I love you. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe. Please like. Thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know how you're using your oils. And have a magical day.